Hello traders, hope you're having a wonderful weekend. On my side, I can't complain. I'm having a wonderful weekend too. So we have 7 hours before market open, and I just wanted to give you the weekly analysis. I'll make this video as short as possible because I have some things to catch up to, and this week we kind of have the FOMC stuff on Wednesday. So yeah, not really that confident giving you very good setups until after that event. So I'll just brief you on good setups or potential setups or what I'll be looking at this week. So portfolio, get to see what's happening, get to see on gold. We hit our swing target, which I was aiming for. If you look at my past videos, you get to see long-term target we've hit, and that's why our profits are astronomical. We get to see the whole portfolio doing great. I think this is the highest profit so far. That's good. So let's start with our fundamentals. So let's go to Forex Factory. So let me summarize what happened last week before we delve into what's going to happen this week. So what caused the, let's start with gold actually. What caused the bullish momentum on gold this week? So DXY has been plummeting. Obviously, inverse relationship between DXY and gold. So DXY drops, gold goes up. So DXY has been plummeting as markets are starting to price in a confirmed rate cut with a possibility of 50 basis point rate cut. So rate cut is equals to bearish DXY is equals to bullish gold, and so on. So also, labor markets have been deteriorating in the US. We get to see the unemployment claims rising, NFP job opening, and the ADP data is also lower than forecasted. In times where labor market is slowing down together with inflation, the Fed, which the FOMC event, tend to cut rates along an extended period of time to bolster more spending within the economy. This causes markets to price in extended periods of rate cut, bringing about an even more bearish momentum on DXY. So third point, we've also gotten to see the US interest rates have also hit $1 trillion for the first time ever. So the US is currently facing a huge economical crisis with larger debts and a slower economy. This fueled even more confidence for a potential larger and extended rate cut. Therefore, it will be bearish DXY and bullish gold until we see the next inflation and job data. Take note of our FOMC that will be coming out on September 19th. So a 25 basis point cut, which is a 0.25% rate cut, will probably cause markets to range and settle in a new zone and maybe have a bearish pullback before continuation. However, if we see a 50% basis point, which is a 0.5% rate cut, we can see gold potentially reach the 26,000 level, and I'll explain that on the chart. So let's start with this week. So with this week, Monday, we know we won't be trading. We have bank holiday for Japan and China, so slow markets day. Tuesday, we also have bank holiday, slow day. But in the afternoon, if we get good opportunities, we might trade because we have the core retail sales month over month and retail sales month over month coming out. Then on Wednesday, the big day, we have the FOMC. So it's better if I gave you setups on YouTube posts or make a video after this day on Wednesday. So this is the highlight of this week and what most traders have been waiting for the longest time. So let's get to see what will happen during Wednesday's FOMC. Then on Thursday, we just have unemployment claims. Then on Friday, we end the week with a fairly calm week. USD, no red folder news events. So let's jump into DXY. So for DXY, we get to see we've been dropping almost the whole week. We started bullish beginning of the week, then we had to range a bit and then get to see that drop. So what do I expect? It's really hard to predict sometimes where markets will go after a rate cut. So it depends on the figure, the rate cut we'll get, but if we look at it from a technical perspective, DXY is bearish long term, maybe until this lows here, where I told you guys I really expect at least prices to push below this low. This area can activate a market maker model where we'll get to see prices push maybe to this area. We'll get our smart reversal there, but that time will come and I'll speak about it when that time comes. But for now, what I can expect this week, maybe push into this area and sell off below, so this area, and then continuation. But on the 2-hour time frame, I mentioned last week that DXY might experience some challenges pushing above this area. Remember, I marked it out for you there. I told you, some traders will have that fair value gap, will have that point of interest, and you get to see DXY ranged there for a couple of times, just weakening above, and then on Wednesday we had that gap up there, but quickly started the sell cycle for the week. So DXY this week, maybe we push into this gap down here and feel it, then continue downwards. That's really what I expect, but be careful because as I've mentioned, we have FOMC. So let's quickly jump into Euro USD. So for Euro USD, our trades paid off well, the setup I gave you. Let me go to my other chart, please. So forex.com. So let's start from the daily time frame. We get to see on the daily time frame we had our draw on liquidity, which I marked out last week. On the lower time frames, I'm going to show you that, but we get to see, I told you guys we had this inverse fair value gap. We left this fair value gap also here, and I told you that's the internal range liquidity. So you get to see Euro USD pushed into that internal range liquidity, and finally we get to see a bullish, respected that area. We had the expected bullishness, we expected bullish move. So you get to see, some people might also look at this as order block. So it tapped into that order block too. I also was watching it, so marked it out there. It was an order block, and you get to see we respected it very well. And some people might look at it like this. So turtle soup below that low, then closed above this fair value gap, making it an inverse fair value gap. So I know this week some people might be expecting, also me, I'd be expecting maybe a move there, then push targeting. Let's start with that high. So that high can be my drawn liquidity for the week, then external range, but yeah, that time will come. So this is my drawn liquidity for the week there. So that will be my draw on liquidity there. But if we continue higher, reaching this high, no problem. So that will be my move on Euro USD. If we move to the lower time frames, let's move to the 2-hour time frame. So on the 2-hour time frame, we get to see we had last week's move. Told you markets might push and push lower, but I was already in some trades, so drawn liquidity was this low. Let me remove this there so that you can see. So my target was this drawn liquidity, marked it out for you guys, and yeah, you guys, I'm sure you enjoyed some profit there. So this week you get to see internal range, and then we push. So we'll push higher, and if DXY confirms that it will push lower, I'm sure Euro USD will really push higher. So quickly, let's go to Great British Pound USD. So go to my other chart too, forex.com. So for Euro USD, let's start from the daily. So we get to see, as I mentioned last time, external range, we took out this high, so markets had to come back to an internal range and then push higher. So at least we tapped into this high, previous high, so acting like a support there. Get to see that was like the sell side, where sell side was efficiently offered. last, so we just tapped into that area because you get to see it was all bullish moves. But yeah, it's okay even if we tapped into that. My target though was this area, because remember I talked about candle range and this was like the 50%, but it's okay. So what do I expect this week, at least on this pair? So let's move to the 2-hour time frame. For people who traded last week, obviously you know we were here, mentioned this push above and then taking out this low. So that was my trade, and you get to see for people who held until here, very nice. But there was my first target, and even if you took that alone, I'm sure you enjoyed some profit. So this week, what do I expect? If DXY pushes lower, I can expect Great British Pound USD to push maybe until somewhere here. If it pushes below, no problem. So Great British Pound to push here, but make sure you look at this area, okay? I won't talk much about it, but yeah, just keep your eye on that. Anything were to happen. But even if it pushes here, then we can target the high. Which high can we target? This can be our drawn liquidity for this week. This high can be the draw on liquidity, so I'll be targeting that. So, and if it goes to the external range, well and good. So quickly, let me move to gold now, the last pair for the day. So let it load real quick. Okay, so for gold, last week I didn't give you a bias because there was really nothing to look at, because we were just ranging. But finally we've gotten our confirmation, and for people who have been here and all my charts, you've always seen this -2 to -2.5 area. For people who know, that's where I marked out my long-term target. So let me start from the daily actually. Yeah, I mark out my charts a lot. So from the daily, we get to see this week we took out this high, so external range liquidity. So what can we expect? We can at least expect markets to push into the internal range liquidity, which we conveniently left a fair value gap there. If you mark out the low, this swing move, we get to see the discounted area is just around here, so below the 0.5. So if we can push at least to this area in the future, the next 2 weeks, 3 weeks, if we can push below to this area and then have a continuation to the final target, which can be the -4 area, full expansion. So we can mark that out. That can be my future target on this pair. Color it in orange because it's a target. Purple is for fair value gaps for me. That's what I do. So that can be my future target. But one of my target has been hit, and we get to see we pushed past it. So if we retrace, push higher to this area, well and good. But be careful because of Wednesday. This week on YouTube post, you get to see I posted, I was looking for a short on this pair. Thought we'll have that AMD I talked about last week, but tonight I was like, yeah guys, my last post I was like, there's nothing showing that this pair will really sell, because we get to see we were respecting almost all bullish PDRAs, and actually my shot was to be from somewhere there. I was to target this low. There is where I was targeting. I was targeting 50% of that of this candle, and I was targeting the low of the candle. But you get to see markets were respecting. That's why I was like, yeah guys, we're never going to have that sell, so don't even look for it. So you get to see markets really pushed higher, respected 50% of that candle area, didn't really tap into the low. I think it was a double bottom if you look at it very well. So candles were closing just there, 50%, and you get to see we move to the 4 hour. You get to see there that down close candle was holding price very well, and from there we had our bullish move, targeting the external range liquidity, and finally tapping into our first take profit area. So yeah, don't look for sales. It's better to wait for the buy unless we have a very clear setup. But for now, I've seen some people getting wrecked because they're trying to catch the move down. Trade with the trend, my friends, unless you get to see a huge, market structure shift and on the higher time frames, and very good setup that can show will target the internal range liquidity. So that's my analysis for the week. Don't want to make it long because remember, FOMC is coming out. So yeah, it's better to wait for that so that we can have a clear bias on what to look for. Last setup, BTC USD T, not BTC USD but T is the tether. So I'm to show you also like Great British Pound USD, look at these areas very keenly. Yeah, just keep your eye on these two areas, these price points, just look at them. Okay, same with Great British Pound USD, the one I gave you. So other than that, guys, you have an amazing week. If I'll have to make another weekly analysis video after FOMC, I'll do. Otherwise, just a conservative week. Don't want to mislead you guys. So yeah, that's what I'll be looking at. That's my simple summary for the week, what I'll be looking at, but I'll be patiently waiting for FOMC. Okay, so you guys have a wonderful week. Hope we get to catch up very soon, either midweek on Wednesday or Friday, Saturday next week, where I'll have to now give you a proper weekly analysis like I always do. So hope you guys have an amazing week. God bless you, and cheers.